Now on CoastTV News.
A potential veto override for a controversial piece of legislation. What's new from lawmakers tonight? Route 9 workshop, what DelDOT plans for the road and why they need your help.
We have a coastal warning active in our area and more on that and other advisories coming up.
Pallet Village update, what's happening in just a few hours.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A Milford teenager arrested for murder. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Thank you for staying up with us after Sunday Night Football. We begin tonight with breaking news. Police confirm they arrested an 18-year-old for murder on Sunday. Milford officers say Edward Rish Oldens was reported to be having mental health issues and told police he killed someone. Police then went to a home on Lakeview Avenue where they found a 50-year-old woman dead. The 18-year-old is now in jail on first-degree murder charges. A new law changes two key parts to Delaware's Move Over law. This is aimed at helping construction crews, DelDOT workers, utility workers, and first responders on crash scenes. Now in Delaware, if someone doesn't follow that law, which requires drivers to yield to those crews, there are increased penalties. A first offense is now $250 instead of $150. A second violation could be up to $500. Further offenders could pay up to $1,000. Additionally, when drivers cannot yield, they must go at least 20 miles under the speed limit if the speed limit is 50 miles per hour or greater. And there is data backing up the need for this law, advocates say. According to AAA, despite being enacted in all 50 states, 71% of Americans are unaware of move-over laws. Reportedly, about 23 workers and first responders are killed in preventable roadside accidents annually in the United States, and hundreds more are injured. New tonight, Delaware lawmakers are indicating their intent to override Governor John Carney's veto on an assisted suicide bill. Democratic leadership says whether it's an override this year or new legislation next year, they intend to continue to fight for medical aid in dying. Now, the bill would have created a multi-step process to allow Delawareans with less than 6 months to live a path to end their life via prescription drugs. Critics say it could leave vulnerable individuals in a place to be taken advantage of. You're looking at Dewey Beach earlier Sunday, which remained closed 1 week after medical waste washed on shore. Dewey confirmed it will reopen its beach on Monday. Local and federal agencies have not provided an update on their investigation in days and still say the waste wash-up is a mystery. On Sunday, a week ago, DENRIC issued a warning about the medical waste after receiving reports from several beach areas. That same day, Ocean City, Assateague Island, Fenwick Island, and Dewey, just a few to close their beaches. This past Friday, Ocean City became the first to completely reopen beach access and water access without restrictions. Still no answers on where this waste came from or why. Monday night in Milford, a workshop will look at zoning restrictions specifically regarding marijuana sales. This is 6 p.m. The specific ordinances and regulations around the sale of marijuana in Milford have yet to be set, though unlike multiple towns in the county, Milford has decided not to ban marijuana. And that is not all. Milford is also considering the next phase of its streetscape project. According to the city, the phase will focus on bike and pedestrian improvements from Northeast 4th Street to North Rehoboth Boulevard. The city could decide this Monday if it wants to pay the roughly $350,000, that's 20% of the cost, on this next phase. This week, your chance to offer your thoughts on widening Route 9. This is by the Vineyards and Five Points area. Neighbors there in Lewis expressed concern a wider Route 9 would be dangerously close to existing neighborhoods like Lewis Crossing. A public workshop on the widening is at Cape Henlopen High School from 4 to 7 on Tuesday. The Milford School District has partnered with the Milford Public Library to support their Spanish dual language immersion and multilingual students. The 2024-2025 year-round Spanish reading program is designed for students from kindergarten through 5th grade. Those students from 6th and 7th grade, as well as the community, they're also welcome. Anise Lopez, co-manager of the Children's Library, is thrilled to be a part of this program.
This partnership has been amazing. It's one of the best things that we could have done. Just spreading literature and just having kids fall in love for books and reading has been amazing. We are so glad to even be hosting this and be a part of a kid's future.
The program will be held one Wednesday a month from September 25th through May. That's 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Milford Public Library. Happening this week, your chance to share your thoughts on repairs to the Indian River Inlet. After 2 dune breaches this year, DelDOT will add sheets of steel, creating a wall. DENREC will do an emergency sand replenishment project to boost the beaches. At the behest of environmentalists, the agencies are holding a public meeting about all of this on Tuesday there in Bethany. And that's not all. 2 days later, on Thursday, DENREC will host a virtual community meeting to share findings from a study to explore economic benefits from beach nourishment. DENREC says participants will learn about how findings and results will be used in the future. Well, you are looking at the progress on the Millsboro bypass. This week, crews will place bridge beams, and here's how that will impact you this week. Fox Run Road between Patriots Way and Betts Pond Road in Georgetown, it's closed starting Monday until Friday. The $130 million bypass project aims to alleviate a decades-long traffic problem in downtown Millsboro. Many of us know that firsthand, right? The project is scheduled to be complete by summer of 2025. A beloved Jewish deli is closing its doors. Monday is the last day for Rosenfeld's Ocean City. That's been open for 11 years on Coastal Highway and 63rd Street. Good news, though, in case you didn't know, Rosenfeld's other locations like Rehoboth, they're still open, and the deli is expanding to Mount Herman Road in Salisbury. This week, Lewis cyclists will solidify their plan to increase bike and pedestrian safety throughout Lewis. The goal of the Lewis Bike Plan is to make sure everybody has access to a safe bike and pedestrian network, as well as encourage people to bike and walk more instead of drive. A number of ideas are on the table, including creating new bike paths and crosswalks. Julie Stevenson tells CoastTV she prefers to run on the trails in the summer because the roads in Lewis, well, they're full of cars.
I'm definitely more at ease on the off season, running around the trails, not having so much congestion. When there are a lot of tourists and they have a tendency to drive too slow, that can cause a lot of problems with sightseeing, and they're not seeing me and they're not looking over in the road.
The Lewis Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meets Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. New tonight on Monday evening, Georgetown Council will hear an update on the Springboard Collaborative and Georgetown Pallet Village. The agenda does not indicate what that update is, though earlier this year, the Pallet Village, which provides temporary housing for the homeless, dispelled rumors that it was increasing the homeless population. Town Council meets at 7 p.m. on Monday. Well, that's a wrap for the Maryland Folk Festival in Salisbury. Tens of thousands of people made their way to the crossroads of Delmarva. There were about 250 musicians, dancers, and craftspeople from across the country. The festival includes food, vendors, and music, all downtown.
Just glad to come downtown and have a great time seeing everybody here. So cool to see downtown just really blowing up like this for the Folk Festival. I'm glad to see everybody here. I know there are people here from all over the state coming here to have fun.
Salisbury previously hosted the National Folk Festival. That moves around the country, and next year will be in Jackson, Mississippi. The Maryland Folk Festival has called Salisbury home since 2023. Well, in case you didn't know, fall is officially here, and that brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what is the best part of fall on the coast. Take a look at your screen. Cooler weather, free parking, fall events, and no traffic. All of those getting a little bit of the vote. If you want to vote, please do that. We have it online or our Coast TV app, and there will be updates on Coast TV News Today. Speaking of Coast TV News Today, Monday morning, tune in for new information on Ocean City's fight against wind farms. What is happening this week? And then coming up Monday evening, tune in to Coast TV News for more on that year-round program aimed at strengthening first and second language skills. When it starts, who can join? Well, you can find out if you join us tomorrow on Coast TV News. Paul.
Well, we have a few flood warnings that have been activated in our area, so you need to hear about this, so please don't go anywhere.
And after that, a Delmarva tradition, the Chincoteague ponies getting up close and personal. But we're not talking about the swim. Don't go anywhere. We are back in just 60 seconds.
Here at the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, such as myself in countertops, to not only ensure you get the best product to fit your needs, but that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
When I came into the Delmarva Design Center and see that big collection of slabs, that makes really the decision seamless.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Your child deserves the best. When your child is sick, every moment counts. And the team at Tidal Health Pediatrics understands the urgency of such situations. Whether it's a sudden fever, a troubling cough, or another pediatric ailment, your child will be seen when they need it most. Schedule your child's appointment now at tidalhealth.org/findapediatrician or call 410-912-5785 because your child's health is our top priority. Tidal Health Pediatrics, compassionate care when you need it most.
There's a very impressive low-pressure system that's not in our immediate region, but it looks like it may have some residual effects for us down the roads, primarily throughout the mid-portion of the work week. As you take a look outside, you'll notice that we're starting to see a little bit of a haze kind of a situation happening for us. This is, of course, courtesy of our Spicer Brothers camera. Generally speaking, we're going to continue to stay very much in that fall feel since we've officially kicked off fall. Had a high of 74 degrees, actually about 4 degrees below the norm for this time of the year. 60 was our starting point. 59 actually is the norm. And that 34, well, let's not even discuss. That's just a little too early to start talking about frosty situations. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, generally speaking, around the entire Delmarva Peninsula. But the big story for us right now is dealing with these interesting coastal flood advisories and even warnings. So, for example, in Sussex County, we actually have an active coastal flood advisory that's in effect for all of Sussex. Now, that stays in effect until Monday, meaning that we're watching out for the potential of flooding to occur. Now, we have a flood warning, which indicates we have some imminent flooding on the way, possibly, for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. Kind of connected to that storm system I was talking about. It's way down the road, but it looks like it may bring some ominous concerns along with it. Coastal flood advisory is active in and around the Ocean City area, and then down to the south, we're dealing with another warning for Accomack and Northampton. Now, this will stay in effect at least for Monday. It could be extended a little bit longer and mimic what's expected over in Dorchester and all that region. High pressure is in control of our weather for right now, but it's going to serve as a blocking agent so that the majority of that storm that I was talking about won't quite reach us. Now, we're going to have that fall feel with a cloudy touch to it. Temperatures in the 70s, 73, for example, in Ocean City, 75 Easton and Federalsburg, and we'll dip to about 75 in Princess Anne as well as Salisbury. Monday, we start off with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, but more cloud cover than sunshine. And we're going to see that same pattern for Monday night. Tuesday, very similar, but we'll see a sprinkle of sprinkles here and there occasionally. So we'll watch out for some lingering moisture. Now, the farther south you are, the better chance of some scattered showers to hit. But we're going to stay cloudy for the most part, Chincoteague as well as Assateague, with temperatures well into the 70s. We're expecting for it to stay cloudy 3 days in a row in Ocean City. Fenwick Island, a touch of sunshine for Monday. Same old true for us in Lewis, but we'll watch out for a scattered shower trying to develop on Wednesday. Our chances of precipitation begin to escalate like stair steps, 34 to 41 to 49 by Friday. So let's examine this from a wide point of view. So Wednesday, we see the first wave of rain pushing through going into Thursday morning. And then we see some heavier showers, and we'll have a frontal boundary that'll kick off another round of showers for us. Coming into Saturday, though, we're looking for that high pressure system to block things to our south. By the way, be sure you join us for our prostate cancer walk next Sunday. Be sure you go to CoastTV.com to get more information about that walk to make awareness for prostate cancer. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast.
Paul, thank you very much. Well, we now know the name of a man who was killed in a Felton crash. Delaware State Police say 56-year-old David McAdams of Felton, he was the man driving Friday night on Sandtown Road. Police say McAdams was not wearing a seatbelt when he flipped into a ditch. The pony swim isn't the only time of the year you can see Chincoteague's wild ponies up close. This weekend, Saltwater Cowboys held their roundup. Each herd was brought in for vet checks, including West Nile shots and deworming before being let loose. That spring roundup, similar situation there, is in April. Hey, in case you didn't know, we have a super fun program on Coast TV every weekday at 4. Coast Life. It's about all things health, wellness, lifestyle. Here's a preview about what to expect this week.
Hope you had a great weekend. Here's what's happening Monday at 4 on Coast Life. If you're a history lover, there's a history book festival just for you on the way. Ooh, looking forward to that. And we got to get your home ready for the winter months. It can be harsh weather out there, so we know the perfect place to take care of all the exteriors. And we're helping spread the word of one local business that is helping give back to the community with their grand Giving Back Week. All that and more Monday at 4 on Coast Life.
Still to come on Coast TV News, a horseback riding program for veterans in Sussex County. The goals that far surpass the physical. Up next.
Get wild on your beach vacation at Coastal Wilds. Meet over 35 different animal ambassadors with up-close and hands-on encounters. Swim with otters, hang out with sloths, and even cuddle a kangaroo. Join us for special events like Sippin' with Sloths, kangaroo yoga, and more. Only 15 minutes from Ocean City and Bethany Beach. Book your experience today at coastalwilds.org. Coastal Wilds, the world of animals, is waiting for you.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care, women's health services, to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Treat yourself to a culinary journey like no other at Benvenuto. Delaware Today named Benvenuto as a 2023 Best of Delaware Dining and Event Restaurant, where the perfect fusion of comfort, exquisite flavors, and a captivating atmosphere awaits you. Our passion for exceptional cuisine shines through every dish as we artfully combine international flavors and fresh, locally sourced ingredients. With stunning spaces and a private room for special occasions, our breathtaking Tuscan design sets the stage for an unforgettable dining experience. Benvenuto Restaurant in Milford.
Pulling up to a great-looking home is nice. Curb appeal is important. But here on the coast, even more important is dock appeal. At T&G Builders, if you can dream it, we can create it. For uncompromising quality, contact T&G Builders to design and build your coastal dream home. Over 30 years of integrity, empathy, and love. T&G Builders, the sign of quality. Visit us online at tg-builders.com.
A new program aims to bring the healing power of horses to those who gave so much for our country. Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding says it's teaching veterans how to bond with the horses. The free programs will provide participants with strategies to promote health and well-being while connecting with other veterans. Kelly Boyer, the program director, says that bond teaches the vets more about themselves.
And so they're a great read on where we are at any moment, and sometimes they know before we are even aware if we may be a little bit nervous or sad or anxious at any point, and that they can help us work through that.
The organization is offering one more session during the first 2 weeks in October before starting up the full 8-week program in January. If you remember back to the fall of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, the U.S. mail was slow, like really slow. That was a big deal, as more and more Americans chose to cast their ballots by mail. Today, the pandemic might be in our rearview mirror, but as NBC's Noah Pransky shows us, an investigation by NBC found 4 years later the U.S. mail is still slow, and particularly in swing states.
Last presidential election, the mail was bad. But, it was during a pandemic, which makes it hard to believe, by some measures, it's even worse today on the eve of another nail-biter of an election.
Election 2024. Make every mail ballot count. But you don't.
We'll come back to some very upset secretaries of state in a minute. First, though, we found not only is the Postal Service falling short of its own 93% target for delivering local mail within 2 days, but some of the slowest mail in the country right now is in swing states. As of this summer, just 86% of first-class mail in North Carolina was delivered on time. Wisconsin, just 71%. And Georgia, fewer than half of all local letters were delivered in 2 days. This matters because North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Georgia are among the 32 states that require mail ballots to be received by the time polls close on Election Day. So there's a chance legit ballots dropped into the mail the week before the election might never count.
At this point, the Pony Express is more effective than the U.S. Mail Service is.
Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab is demanding answers from Postmaster Louis DeJoy as to why the USPS failed to properly deliver 1,000 ballots in his state's recent primary, thus disqualifying the votes.
So they're taking our mail and shipping it out of state to have it hopefully show up at the clerk's office across the street. And that's the frustration.
Ever since the postmaster was appointed by then-President Trump in 2020, he's embarked upon an ambitious plan to make the Postal Service more efficient and, once again, profitable. But so far, it's done neither.
I mean, just do your job.
His concern is local elections. He knows Kansas won't determine the presidential race. But you know what state might?
I would say it's a disgrace.
Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
No more excuses. Get the job done.
He says ballot delays in Georgia are the last thing he needs in November.
Or any of us. Check out this back-of-the-envelope math.
About 3% of legally cast mail ballots in Georgia's spring elections were disqualified for arriving late. Raffensperger says 300,000 Georgians could vote by mail this fall, meaning a 3% disqualification rate would erase 9,000 legally cast votes. In 2020, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in Georgia by just 11,000 votes.
Get in gear. Elections are critical infrastructure.
The USPS tells us they'll initiate extraordinary measures when it comes to mail ballots this fall, essentially treating each one like express mail. And they have a 99% rate of delivering them within 7 days. But last month, the postmaster said voters should give them at least 7 days.
I am confident we will succeed in delivering election mail this season, just as we have done in the past.
He says the Postal Service requires reforms, so we all need to embrace a new normal where letters, paychecks, prescriptions, and even ballots take a little longer to get delivered. Noah Pransky, NBC.
Now, if you're planning on voting in this election, here are some key deadlines for Delmarva. First, we'll take you to Delaware. You must register to vote by October 12th. Military personnel who are overseas have until the 21st. Early voting in Delaware starts October 25th. Now in Maryland, you can register at your polling place the day of the election with documentation. Maryland's early voting starts October 24th. After the break here on Coast TV News, return to office mandates expanding in America. 3 new pieces of data that show if working from home or in office is better for you or the company line. But first, big bridge plans up next on Coast TV News.
Choice Hotels is a family of brands with a hotel for any traveler you want to be. Like Quality Inn for the dad that gets every dollar and minute out of this family road trip.
The day is upon us!
Book at choicehotels.com.
Hello!
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Just another perfect day at our beautiful Delaware beaches until... On TV, accidents can be funny, but in real life, they're no joke. When accidents strike, the Law Office of Trapp Nickel is here for you. Our experienced team fights for your rights, turning tough situations into significant compensation. Don't let negligence spoil your summer. Claim the justice you're entitled to. The Law Office of Trapp Nickel. Your priority is our priority.
A wet crawl space is a lurking hazard, inviting mold, rot, and structural worries. The answer is Brazier's Crawl Space Encapsulation. Our specialist tailors the solution to your exact crawl space. Our expert team cleans and upgrades your crawl space into a pristine, protected environment, and we only use April Air dehumidifiers, reliable and robust, complete with a 5-year warranty. Take the first step to a drier, safer home. Call Brazier's or visit our website. Your peace of mind is just one call away.
today on Coast Life. Discover essential tips to maintain the exterior of your home just in time for fall. Plus, a look into a musical journey through life's milestones. And we have a fun historical book tour Monday at 4 on CoastTV.
Join us for the American Cancer Society's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer in Ocean City on Saturday, October 26th. The walk starts at 8 a.m. on the boardwalk at the inlet. Sign up to walk or lead a team to celebrate courage and hope for breast cancer survivors, those living with metastatic breast cancer, caregivers, and families. Be the hope to help end breast cancer for everyone. For more details, visit coastcountry.com. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
Have fun and enjoy Delmarva's Coast with Petey the Peacock, sharing joy coast-wide. Know where he's going to be next and get his free coloring book at peteythepeacock.com. Sponsored by Tidal Health.
The Delaware Department of Transportation says a new warning system is coming to Milford on the Mespillion River Bridge. DelDOT calls the system clankers, which will hang down before the bridge to audibly warn overheight trucks that won't fit through there. This comes after the historic bridge has been hit an incredible 7 times in the past several years, the last strike causing significant damage and a 6-month closure.
That it will help us to protect and preserve this bridge going forward and save not only the department a lot of time and money, but ultimately the drivers who aren't damaging vehicles and causing a whole host of other issues.
DelDOT says it hopes the system will be in place by the end of the year. This week, Amazon became the latest company to announce it would soon require its corporate employees to come into the office 5 days a week. But as Michael Yoshida shows us, if these mandates lead to the benefits CEOs often cite when making these announcements, well, that remains to be seen.
Amazon corporate employees soon going from being in the office 3 days a week to 5. The Seattle-based company joining other large companies such as Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase in demanding workers be in the office more.
I think some of what you're seeing in Amazon is in part rooted in senior executives who, let's face it, in almost any organization, live to work, wanting to sort of determine whether or not the rest of their employees are in it to work also.
Amazon's move has faced some backlash from workers. CEO Andy Jassy justifying the move, saying in a memo, the advantages of being together in the office are significant, and it's easier for teammates to learn, model, practice, and strengthen our culture. But do return to office or RTO mandates deliver on their promises? A recent Gallup poll found that since 2020, less access to work resources and feeling less connected to an organization's culture were given as some of the top challenges of hybrid work. But the poll also found on-site employees have lower employee engagement than remote or hybrid workers. And a study led by a Stanford economist and published this year found employees who work from home 2 days a week are just as productive, likely to get promoted, and far less prone to quit.
The much better answer to all this is stop sweating how many days a week people are in the office. Start focusing on outcomes.
A shift Brian Elliott, author and founder of Future Forum, says takes some initial effort from management, but pays off in the long run.
Holding people accountable to results is going to take you a lot further than does Joe show up at 8 in the morning and leave at 7 o'clock at night.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Amazon's new policy goes into effect January 2nd, 2025. A 5-alarm fire has damaged multiple buildings, including a restaurant in downtown Baltimore. This is at the Jano restaurant on Lombard and Utah Streets. That's just 2 blocks from Camden Yards.
At this time, we believe we have upwards of 5 commercial properties that are involved, as well as 1 residency occupancy. We believe we have apartments over top of one of the businesses.
Good news, though, no injuries have been reported at this time. After the break here on Coast TV News, celebrating ice cream as if we needed a reason to, we'll explain.
Never have to explain ice cream. And we're going to update you on what's happening with our flood warning. But in addition to that, we have concerns for gusty winds along the shore as well.
At the Delaware Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in flooring, to ensure you get the best product to fit your needs and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
They worked with me, gave me different options, kept within that budget, completed it on time. Delmarva Design Center was awesome.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
DSN Plus is more action. 4 additional live stream games every weeknight and full replays on demand. DSN Plus is more local. 5 live games every weeknight, showcasing high school showdowns and regional rivalries across Delmarva. DSN Plus is more access. Watch on your mobile devices, and remember, DSN is still free over the air and on cable. But get more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Hi, this is Paul Williams, Chief Meteorologist at CoastTV, and I'm inviting you to join me on Sunday, September the 29th at 10 a.m. at the Cape Henlopen State Park for the inaugural Walk for Prostate Cancer. As a prostate cancer survivor, I know firsthand how important it is to raise awareness and support those battling this disease. Let's walk together, get screened, and raise funds for the Delaware Prostate Cancer Coalition. For more details, visit CoastTV.com.
Are you suffering from hair loss? Maybe you need to cut a few pounds. Ready to start dating again? Well, here at East Coast Plumbing, Heating, and Air, we can help you with none of that.
But what we can help you with is plumbing repairs, drain cleaning, tub and showers, water heaters, air conditioning, heat pumps, gas furnaces, and sewer and water main replacements. Stop dealing with chamois that don't work and call Delmarva's top service provider.
East Coast Plumbing, Heating, and Air! Or find us online at eastcoastplumbing247.com. Forget about it.
Mondays at 5 on Big 1077. It's time to huddle up and talk football.
We're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything in between. From game-changing plays to the latest news around the league.
We'll take a deep dive into all of the plays that made a difference.
We'll see you in the end zone.
Catch the End Zone, Mondays at 5 on Big 1077.
Keeping a close eye on some warnings and watches that we're going to update you on right now. Live picture of, courtesy of our Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera, we're still seeing some increasing cloud cover. Now, coastal flood warnings in effect from Melfa to Parksley up toward Chincoteague, and we have a coastal flood warning in effect for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico, staying in effect until Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Looking like we're going to have some flooding. It's going to be at least, well, inevitable to a certain extent. Now, we have a coastal flood advisory, not quite as severe, but still concerned about flooding. Stays in effect until 5 o'clock for us throughout portions of Sussex. Small craft advisory with 25-mile-per-hour gusty winds are concerned for us as we travel a little bit more to the south. We have an additional coastal flood advisory for Worcester in and around the Ocean Pines, Newark, as well as Snow Hill area until Monday afternoon. Taking a look at our expectations, we're expecting for it to continue to stay active for us as we go up to the beach. We're looking for it to stay cloudy for us on Monday and Tuesday with a chance of scattered showers on both of those days. Be mindful of the fact that we're watching out for rain to kick in a little bit later. By the way, our forecast is available for you on our weather line. Just call 443-880-9100, sponsored by Baird, Mandalas, Buckstead, and Federico. Here's a look at our 10-day forecast. We're looking for cloudy skies for Monday and Tuesday, 73 degrees both days. And then on Wednesday, we anticipate scattered showers kicking in for going into Thursday and Friday. And Saturday and Sunday, we should actually be free. Keep that in mind. Then also, bear in mind, by next week, we're looking for more in the way of sunshine. Now we're going to be continuing to expect and anticipate that overall, we're going to stay pretty joyful with avoiding a lot of the problems that comes with that chance of scattered showers in our area. And finally, last but not least, we want to invite you to be sure to join us for our Cape Henlopen Walk for Prostate Cancer, 74 degrees for next Sunday, September the 29th at 10 a.m. We're going to have freebies for everybody, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to learn more about how to stop that insidious disease.
Paul, thank you. We're very much looking forward to that. Summer might be officially over, but you can still squeeze out another sweet treat. Sunday is National Ice Cream Cone Day. Ice cream cones became popular in the U.S. in the late 1800s, and they debuted at the World's Fair in 1904. Thank you so much for joining us here for Coast TV News after Sunday Night Football. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News Today, starting at 5 a.m. Have a great night.